mention something else, because we've talked about, you know, while we wrote our book, the process of the book, getting past those hard moments. I also remember you having the moment when you were writing about your mom, and like you said, you were sitting in Starbucks or wherever and you were crying while you were writing. You're like, people are probably looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what's wrong with this girl?
And did not give one care.
Not at all. Not at all. I wrote most of my book at, and you said you were at Barnes and Nobles, which is crazy. I was at Books A Million.
Okay.
Because our Books A Million didn't close until 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And that was the latest place so the little coffee shop area in there was still open.
Okay.
So I could sit in there until it closed. And that was like my little spot. And I know I probably had some moments where people were looking like, what is she? Because I probably looked like I was 12 in college or something, in a hoodie and some leggings. And I'm typing it like, is she typing her homework? Why is she crying? What's happening? But it had to get out. And it's not always pretty the way that it gets out. But
absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely. You go into that.
I learned very early on in writing that I could not write at home, and that was just the season I was in, because I was writing about such heavy things that when I got to a place where it stung or it hurt or I came to a realization of something, I would stop, shut down writing and go get into bed. And then I wouldn't write again for, like I said, weeks or months at a time. Mm-hmm. I learned very early on that if I wanted to get it done, first I had to set a schedule, which I set a schedule every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Saturday from like maybe 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Like my phone was on off or on do not disturb. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would get off work at 4:30. I would go straight to the local Starbucks because it was closer. And I would write until they closed, I think at like 9:30. And I did not let anything interrupt that. So like I said, I learned very early on that when I knew I just needed to write, I couldn't write in my house. I didn't write the book in my house. I wrote the book at Starbucks that's in Barnes and Noble. Yeah. But I remember knowing that that is what I was about to write about. And everything in me was like, you should write that at home because you're probably going to be very emotional. It's like snot, it's like tears, it's like, and I wrote out my story before I typed it. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there and I'm writing and I'm like wiping tears, wiping my nose. But people were looking and they wanted to say something, but like, I just knew that I could not.
What do you say? What do you say?
You okay?
You see it? Yeah, I'm the person who I'll just like pray for you secretly from the corner and be like, obviously she not okay, and I'm gonna just sit at my desk and pray and my Starbucks with my coffee and pray for what's happening over here.
It looked very uncomfortable, and I wrote it, and I cried, and I snotted through it, and then I got up and I went home. But I sat there until I got through, and that was towards the end of the book. I sat there and wrote all that out. A whole couple of weeks of that in that sitting, and I got up and I left. But I knew I could not do that at home because it wouldn't have got done, or it would have taken longer to get done.
And that's something else that's important to think about when you are writing your book. Sometimes it's not okay to be where you're most comfortable, because when I'm most, because you're birthing this, like we're pregnant with these books and we're birthing these books. Pregnancy and labor is not comfortable. It's just not. And I feel like me getting out of my house, I wouldn't necessarily get uncomfortable or with a topic or a story and then get in the bed. I will start doing something else. All of a sudden, this is the perfect time to reorganize my closet. Been meaning to do that. Been meaning to purge my closet.
Sunday closet.
Or, all of a sudden, you know what? I need to clean out this junk drawer in the kitchen.